Hello. You're watching International Children's Day of Broadcasting, and I'm your amazing presenter, Suilanji Sinkonde. As we all know, today is a special day. As we all know, today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting, and I believe this is where all children are given a platform to actually do what they feel, oh, I want to do TV presenting, I want to do newscasting and all that. And we are under the theme Safeguarding Children in the Media Space and Beyond. And I am not alone. I've been joined by my amazing co-host,
Taonga and Koma.
Taonga, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm all right. So are you excited to be here?
Yes.
Why are you so excited?
Because it's International Day of Children's Broadcasting.
Okay. So since today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting, I love this day. Do you know why I love this day?
Why?
Because it's a day I believe all children are given a platform. We are all inspired by something. You know, when you want to be in the media space, you're either inspired by someone who's doing newscasting, someone who's doing TV presenting, someone who's a DJ. We are inspired by that. And I believe we are given such a platform. Yes. And it being International Children's Day of Broadcasting, I know you might be wondering, what is safeguarding children in the media space and beyond? Don't worry, we have you covered. Temwan is actually going to spill out the beans.
We're going to be taking you to Mazabuka, where children at top grade school are going to give you a poem.
And Annie will be also interviewing the school manager and indeed the deputy head, as we just get to hear more about safeguarding children in the media space and indeed beyond. So stay tuned.
My name is Peter. I'm from top grade. We are going to present a poem entitled Safeguarding Children in Media and Beyond.
We are the top graders. We are here to present a poem entitled Safeguarding Children in Media and Beyond. Wait! Just wait! We haven't started yet. This poem was written a long time ago. All I know of that safety matters. Safeguard starts with us.
We are the keepers of the quiet hour. When screens glow, look at the moon in small hands. One stays with through wire. Why settle gently or sharply into a young mind?
A child's name is not a head. That tears are not titles. That life cannot look to like it is. Protect before you publish. Respect before you record. Children have no fear, like Sophia. So we build president of care, not walls of fear. Guidance teach with wisdom, privacy, warmth, indignity, and truth with the kindness. A child's face in the sunrise, not to be on, educate or sort. Their mistakes is their lesson. Safeguard is not silent. It is a promise that stories not still future, that exposure not replace care. We teach boundaries that matter, so children must know where safety lies. Safeguarding is a daily act of courage. To say no to harm where a friend is mad. To say yes to privacy, to consent, to carry, to care children's rights like right.
Children are not daunting.
No, they are not.
Children are not clean.
No.
Children are lives and bounty.
Point. Zimmerman and meeting. Just admitting.
Beyond the screen, where continues.
Guiding childhood with courage and love in media and beyond.
And we promise this.
Oh yes, we promise this.
No child unseen, no child unprotected, no child forgotten.
Also, Ivala, we came all the way from Mazabuka with the message, safeguarding children in media and beyond. Happy International Children's Day of Broadcasting.
First things first, I want us to be free. Second things, they should not be doing things out of their own will. They should ask us first. We're people, we need that privacy as well. We're children, we need to be free, and we have the right to say no and yes to everything. Just encouraging them so that they can do the same thing, and they should have that power and courage to do other things as well, and they should also know their rights.
Hi, my name is Annie Simwene, and I'll be talking to Madam Dora Chinyama as we celebrate International Children's Day of Broadcasting. Join me. how safe are the children in the media space?
Okay. So maybe I would start off by asking whether you feel safe in the media space, in the child. I guess for me to be able to give a response that would be, well-rounded and really from the source itself, it would be for me to ask a child, seeing that I'm an adult. So maybe Annie, how safe do you feel online?
Children nowadays, I won't put myself there because I don't have it. Children nowadays, they don't respect and they don't have that kind of they don't have that importance where they say that when they put me on media or when I post myself when someone posts me, how would it be like? Would it be embarrassing or not? Now they just want likes. They just want likes. They don't want to be they don't see the whole point of media. They just want likes. So as for me, I would say maybe children should parents or guardians should keep away children from going anyhow on media.
Your presence online is first of all consensual, then that's a good thing. Consent would first have to be sought from, you as a child, even if children, are under the care of their parents, they are below 18, it would still be good, for their parents to first, consent to that. Rather the children themselves also to, give that permission to their parents to be, first of all, put on that space. And also, drawing back a little bit to issues like cyberbullying, yeah. Sometimes children are not safe being online due to issues of cyberbullying. So basically, just like you would find bullying in the physical space away from the internet, that is also found, unfortunately, on the internet. People have taken their physical habits to the online space where they body shame people, or they, talk about, the diverse things. The world or the population can be quite diverse. And so diversity, equality, and things like that are not respected. And so that ends up bringing about cyberbullying. And other than that, maybe to just tilt a little bit towards the boy child, there's the concept or this terminology called manosphere, right? This is an online community in which, unfortunately, the boy child is being negatively influenced to perceive the female or the girl child as, less equal. You know what I mean? And so you have a situation in which young boys or even men begin to be brainwashed, right? To think that gender equality is taking away from, the positivity, you know what I mean, and the opportunities. And so when it comes to safety online, sometimes that is also highly compromised, for the boy child in the space of the manosphere that I'm alluding to, where gender roles are squashed and there are all those negative narratives that are put out there. So that calls for concern and, for parents to ensure that the children have a safe online presence.
As we say, Great International Children's Day of Broadcasting, what is your call
to the authorities?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, to be super deliberate in strengthening laws that protect children online, and other than that, to also hold adults responsible for the things that they do. First of all, I would want to, commend the government for having, introduced the cyber crime, right? That law really is going to cage a whole lot of people that, exactly, perpetuate negative vices online. So first of all, that's a good thing. And then, secondly, other than introducing that, enforceability is also another thing that has to be looked into, because then you can have all these good rules, but then if people are not following them or people are not given consequences for abrogating them, then it's as good as not having them. So I think that's perhaps one thing I would love to call for the authorities to sort of kind of do or strengthen.
How are you protecting children in media and beyond?
Primarily, the safeguarding of children's rights is an everyday event. Now, regarding the theme, protecting children in media and beyond, I think we have a share, and we've been doing this. We do this through the school rules that are available that actually ensure that the children are safeguarded through our protracted vision, where we feel children should be given more space to express themselves because they are the future leaders, and any decision that we make now will impact them either positively or negatively. So if now they are given space in media and beyond, then even leaders, even elderly people will come up with better laws that will protect the children going forward.
So, what would you like to say to the government?
Institutions that are involved in the caring of the children, my word would be, as a school, would love to see government come up with policies that support media activities and especially the engagement of the children in media activities, so that we are able, or the leaders are able to gather the desires of the young generation so that good laws are formulated for their better.
Welcome back. I believe we have learned something. Tawanga, have you learned something?
Yes, I have.
And before we go any further, remember that we are live on Ask Movie TV page. Be free to leave us a comment, for I believe comments definitely encourage us and will actually learn something as well from you. So indeed, if you have something to teach us as well, you have any contribution, please feel free to leave that comment in the comment section and we'll definitely appreciate. And you can also catch us on Top Star channel number 96. So Temwani.
Yes.
I believe they gave a poem and we learned something from it, where they talked about safeguarding children and all that. And in your own partake, what do you think safeguarding children is? What do you understand by that?
It should be how children are protected against the media.
Okay. So when you talk about how children are protected against the media, do you mean only on their phones or even on TV stations and all that?
Yes, I mean also on TV stations and on their phones.
Okay. So in my own partake, I believe when we come to talk about safeguarding children on the media space, children will actually come through different contents. And if these contents are actually made sure that they are looked up to, what is the content having and who's actually watching this type of content, I believe it will definitely help the children out there. For we see, basically in certain films, you see they'll say, okay, not rated below 18 years, this is rated 18 years. I think that's one of the precautions that they put in place to safeguard the children.
Yes.
So, as we all know, they were talking about safeguarding children, and today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting. What do you think is International Children's Day of Broadcasting? So if you have something, please feel free to comment and we'll actually read out your comment. And of course, we learned from the deputy head teacher and the management team, where they talked about rights, where they talked about making sure that a child is actually supervised. You actually watch a child. What are they watching? What on their phone? What are they actually doing on their phones? I believe that will actually help in safeguarding children in the media space, but not forgetting that children as well must behave. So right away, we're going to take you to .com Zambia, where we get to hear something from them. As we all know, .com Zambia is actually all about infrastructure, but we'll get to learn about them. What are they actually talking about? What are they teaching us when in terms of the theme? The theme is safeguarding children. So what do they have to say about safeguarding children? And what are they putting in place in terms of safeguarding children? Stay tuned.
Hi
everyone, my name is Suilandi Sinkonde. As we all know, we'll be celebrating, or we are celebrating International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which is today, the 1st of March 2026. As we all know, today's theme is safeguarding children. Hi Nosiko, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm alright. So I have a few questions. Dotcom Zambia is known for its infrastructure like e-tolling and payments. And how does it play a role, it being a tech company, in terms of the theme of safeguarding children?
So Dotcom Zambia at its core builds systems that power payments and mobility throughout the country. And even though we do not have products that are specifically designed for children, our platforms form a part of the environment that families rely on every day. And we genuinely believe that building these platforms, as safe as possible, we believe that the safest digital future for children begins with responsible infrastructure.
We're in a world where digital platform is increasing, and that poses a risk to children. What do you feel you can do in terms of building infrastructure and designing things that are safeguarding children?
So as Zambia becomes more digital, right, children are spending more time online, which can expose them to cyberbullying, inappropriate content, and online scams. At Dotcom Zambia, we build products with safety by design. This simply means incorporating features like age-appropriate access controls and parental oversight tools from day one. Our approach is proactive, right, which simply means we think about children's safety before problems arise rather than.
We're living in a world where it's a digital space, or rather should I say a digital world, and children are spending most of their time on the digital space. Either they're chatting, either they're watching something, and basically they might not fully know the importance of digital literacy. What's your own take on making sure that indeed children have the literacy? How can you cover up that gap?
Look, children are already not safe as it stands, right?
Okay.
And I genuinely believe that we can stiffen our laws a little bit more and implement stricter child protecting mechanisms on our social media apps and all these social platforms that are coming in from the Western world. This can all start from, maybe just not allowing the users below the age of 16 and then moving on with that. I believe with that approach, we will ensure utmost safety for our children. We must build the secure systems I did talk about, and then to the parents, it is imperative that we remain engaged and understand exactly what our children are doing online, right? Zambia's digital future is promising, and look, at the end of the day, let's build it in a way that is safe, inclusive, and responsible.
All right. Thank you so very much for joining us, Nosiko. I had an amazing time. I believe I have learned something, and indeed the people out there and the children, you have also learned something. So thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for that.
Hi everyone, my name is Suilandi Sinkonde. As we all know, we'll be celebrating, or we are celebrating International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which is today, the 1st of March 2026. As we all know, today's theme is safeguarding children in the media space and beyond. And as you all know, I'm never alone, and I'll never be alone. I've been joined by an amazing person who's an inspiration to some of you. I'll let him introduce himself.
My opening remarks must be to wish you an International Children's Day of Broadcasting Day to you and the millions of kids watching Movie TV today. it's a day that reminds us of our childhood. It's a day that some of us was very critical in shaping who we are and bringing us, the very potential that we showed today. And so it's a happy day, and I was very excited when I was invited to come and be a participant. I'm being interviewed today. For those that could possibly see me for the first time, my name is Andrew Wansa. I've been born and bred at Movie TV. I started my journalism career as a kids presenter at Movie TV, till I transitioned to a teen presenter at Movie TV, until I transitioned to an adult presenter, presenting one of the biggest shows on Movie TV, which is the Assignment. And so I have great ties, to Movie TV, and Movie TV will always be my home.
He's an inspiration to some of you out there. He's one of my inspiration. Yes. So, Andrew Mwansa, I have a few questions.
Shoot.
Yes. So my first question is, you being a born and bred, like since childhood, you've been in the media space. So what's your own intake in terms of safeguarding the children in the media space and beyond? As we all know, from childhood until you are the person you are today, you've been in the media space. So what's your own take when it comes to that?
When a child is growing up, the first socialization agent is the mother. When the child begins to grow further, the mother exposes the child to television or the laptop or any digital, media platform that they would watch. Those baby, content that they watch, those kids content. I've forgotten what you call them, copper melon, right?
Yeah,
yes, that's what you call them. And so you realize that as a child, babies consume much of the content. Sometimes the baby is left alone in the living room to watch TV, and without having to check what type of content is brought on TV, it would either grow a child or it would destroy the child's morals. And so the media is very important in safeguarding the child, because much of the content that the child consumes comes from TV, comes from the media. And so it's very important for regulators, those that run TV stations, to ensure that at every interval they get to put children-related content that builds them, as opposed to content that would do otherwise to them. And so it's very critical. And I love the theme for this year's International Children's Day of Broadcasting. It borders on safety of children. And I think the message really goes to regulators and the government to ensure that the content that gets to be displayed on the screen is content that is, child-friendly. It's content, that would build a child, and not content that would destroy a child. And so it's very important to speak around issues of safety of a child, because most of the time the child will be consuming content that is from, the media.
In your own take, like, we all know that there's that emotional part each and every child experiences, and as they view and watch different things on media, they'll definitely come through different things. So what's your own take when it comes to the emotional part of a child that might lead to suicide and at times might lead to different activities? So what's something that you feel will really help a kid in terms of the emotional aspect?
Just recently, the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, issued a statement relating to the type of content that goes on the screen, and they were issuing this instruction to all the media houses, especially television, that, for example, when you're about to show an accident scene, ensure that beyond you warning the viewer that we're about to show you viewer sensitive pictures, you must be able to cover the accident scene so that it doesn't come out to be very graphical. And I think these are some of the measures that government and the broadcasters are putting in place to ensure that the child is protected out there. The child might suffer emotional damage out of the content that they get to see on the screen, and that's why I said in my earlier submission that it's very important for content creators or regulators to, to ensure that they put content that could be consumed by either an adult and a child without otherwise damaging their, their moral fiber. Because sometimes you don't get to control what children watch.
Yeah.
All right, they'll just get a remote and scrub on different channels, and they would stumble on content that might not be friendly to them, and this might damage their, their mental health. You spoke of issues around suicide. There's many things on TV that would lead to a child thinking that what they are watching on the screen could be replicated in their own in their own life. They would see someone, for example, take an overdose of medicine and they think it's normal. All right, they would see someone wanting to fall from a tall building and they think it's normal, and they would climb the building to want to do so. And so it's very important always that regulators get to sieve through the content that goes on the screen. Those that are managing content at different TV stations also ensure that content that goes on the screen is child friendly. I think I would like to see a situation where it's by law that children related content is by law designed in every programming, that every programming that the station gets to have, they must have content that is directly for the kids, but also even beyond the content for the kids, the type of content that a TV station gets to display must be content that even when a child stumbles upon that content, it will build them as opposed to destroying them. And I think this must be binding, that every TV station must ensure that the content they get to bring on air, is content that builds as opposed to content, that destroys the very moral fiber of children. Because when a child is growing up, the child grows up at different stages. All right, there's a stage a child grows up that we make reference to as them doing whatever they see. All right, when you laugh, the child laughs. When you cry, the child feels like crying. When you jump, the child feels like jumping. And remember, the majority of the time that children get to have, they spend it watching TV. So if they're going to watch content that builds them, they'll grow up being responsible children, they'll grow up being good children, and they'll grow up being intelligent children. But this can't be so because we are not synced in terms of TV stations. We have no control, all right? We can't dictate what, for example, Prime TV airs, what Diamond TV airs, or whatever station airs. But if there's a law that binds all TV stations to produce content that is friendly to children, I think in a way we'll be protecting the very sanctity of children, and we're building children that are going to be responsible. We'll be building children that do not think of suicide, but think of school. We'll be building children that will be responsible, in our country. And so for me, that I think would be my advice to either government or to the regulators.
Last question, but not the least.
Okay.
What's your message to the children out there in terms of the theme? As we all know, the theme that we are having today is safeguarding children in the media space and beyond. So what's your message to the children out there?
Well, the children out there watching this program, I don't know what time you'll be watching the program. I think my take is, if you are so passionate about TV, for example, go for it. If you're very passionate about football, go for it. If you're passionate about basketball, go for it. Wherever your passion leads you, ensure that you follow your passion. And in regards to the theme that we have today, which borders around protecting a child, it is, and I think for me this message goes to the parents. It is very important that you parents watch what your kids are consuming, because the content that they consume can either build them or harm them. And so that is my message to the parents and the guardians that are watching the program. To the kids again, I know that when we're growing up and we see obscene scenes on the screen, what we'll do is quickly either close our eyes or change the channel. Sometimes it would be unexpected that you're watching a movie with your parents and then, some things just come on and you feel shy. It's okay to feel shy, and it's okay for you to say, Mommy, can we change the channel? It's okay, because what you're simply doing there is that you're protecting yourself. And so that would be my message to the kids and the parents. And lastly, I wish you a happy International Children's Day of Broadcasting. And those of you that are home, make sure that next time you participate by coming to either Movie TV or any channel that you could go to and show your talent and show the world what you're made of.
I've been inspired and I have learned a lot. I believe you out there, children, you have also learned a lot. And may we put into practice what we've learned. For the saying that says, when you learn something, you must put it into practice. And when you put it into practice, you're actually building yourself.
Thank you so much, Sulanji, and I look forward to come again next year.
Indeed. So you're joined by your amazing presenter, Sulanji Sinkonde, and of course, an amazing person I was interviewing, Andrew Mansa. From me and the entire Movie TV production team, it's bye.
All right, welcome back, and I believe indeed we have learned something, and indeed we were inspired. Of course, we heard something from the .com Zambia. Taonga, indeed we learned something from the .com Zambia, right? Yes. Where they talked about how they feel children must be safe in the media space. They also talked about how they are not only working with infrastructure, but indeed, what are they doing into place? And of course, we also learned something from Andrew Mansa, where he talked about safeguarding children. He talked about the content, I believe, and we have learned something. Personally, I've learned something. Have you, Taonga?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I believe today is an amazing day. As we have all seen, we've learned from Andrew Mansa, we've learned from .com Zambia. We also had a poem from Top Grade School, and I feel this was something that was so inspiring to us and the children out there. Next time, I want you to be telling yourself, oh, I want to be the next one there on stage. Because I believe when you see someone on TV, you'll be like, oh, next time I want to be the one there. You never used to tell yourself that?
I did.
What did you used to tell yourself?
That I one day be there.
And you are here, right? So I believe, including you, the children out there, you can also be here one day. You just have to put in the interest, and you telling yourself, okay, these people who are inspiring me one day until I become like them. I believe that helps, because I also used to tell myself one day I want to be on TV, and here I am today. I believe this is a great opportunity, and indeed International Children's Day of Broadcasting gives us that platform. And I'll be having someone special. Okay, so before we go for a break, let me just spill the beans. As you all know, your girl, she'll want to keep the beans, but at the end of the day, she'll be like, oh, I just want to spill it. I'll be interviewing an amazing person who's from UNZA. She's a student from UNZA. She'll get to tell us something. She'll get to tell us her challenges. She'll get to tell us how life has been. And before I start spilling out more and more beans, you know, if I spill out more beans, I'll ruin the show. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be back.
Stay tuned.
My name is Tizambale. a third-year student of social work at the University of Zambia. And with regards to this year's theme for International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which is safeguarding children in media and beyond, my take would be children are not safeguarded as they are supposed to be, because the Children's Code Act stipulates how children are supposed to be safeguarded. We are seeing situations where a child, a victim of defilement, is being, her pictures, his pictures are being circulated on social media, which is not supposed to be the case, because everyone will know that child and there will be some sort of stigma and discrimination. Apart from that, when it comes to victims of defilement and everything like that in relation to persons with disabilities or children with disabilities, the terms that are used to refer to them are very derogatory, such as imbecile. Imbecile is a very derogatory name to refer to any human being. Usually those children are children with intellectual disabilities, but then they're referred to imbeciles. And that name can speak a lot of things to that child's life. That person can think, they can start behaving in that particular manner. In Bemba, they would even say ichipuva, and yet that person just has an intellectual disability. When you look at that, children in that manner are not safe, especially children with disabilities, because discrimination, stigma, and this name, this derogatory name calling is very bad and very harmful to their mental health as children. So their development will be disturbed, their mental health will be disturbed, even their education of focusing on education will be disturbed, because the society takes them as imbeciles or ifipuva. So yeah, children are not safeguarded.
To say, social media is a very good platform because we use different social media platforms. It's a good platform, and also it kills at a particular time. So in my aspect, I would say social media has really helped a lot in terms of advertising and lobbying for certain assistive devices for children with disability, to be precise, and getting them placement in the education facilities, because you know it's not easy unless we go on social media. That's when we can be a bit louder. So social media has been very impactful for persons with disabilities, children precisely, as I said earlier, in lobbying for funds. Again, it has been used as a platform whereby we get harassed verbally. People are not putting into consideration that there's cyber law. So the children that we are exposing to social media, they must keep in mind to say there is life outside social media. There's the aspect of addiction. We have a lot of children addicted to the social media life, whereby it's easier for them to get into peer pressure. Their peers that they are interacting with, they don't know the actual lifestyle they are living behind the scene. Then a lot of children are getting too complacent and comfortable, because how many children nowadays know Waida? Only a few. So social media, these people are missing out on a lot of things, because you have a disability, they don't care. How many know about it? So in actual sense, they are missing out on their childhood. While their social media is nice, yes, but come on, you and I can relate to say we had a good childhood. We had it. So let's not take away this from them.
I think children's rights are not really protected to that extent, especially in the media sector. Like, for example, when you take children with albinism, you'll find they are subjected to name calling, cyberbullying and stuff. You find I saw a video one time of a child with albinism just dancing, and then people were like, that girl with albinism, and you know these name callings that they call in like combos and whatnot. Hey, Chidangwaleza, what are you doing there? And someone was like, hey, that's money, you know? Such hateful words. And this is a child, remember? So you mean that a child with albinism shouldn't dance like on media or something? Which is a very bad thing for me. I think a lot of strengthening of laws protect children's rights, especially children with disabilities. Every child
deserves to be protected, whether at home, whether on TV, whether anywhere. A child has to be protected. And as children with disabilities, particularly albinism, a lot has to be done. You know how this discrimination against persons with disabilities, or these myths around albinism is, it's very sad. You find a child with albinism, they're not being protected. I think government should put more laws, or strict laws if they are there, or strengthen laws to punish these people. For example, let's say a child has been defiled. Don't leave cases hanging. You just take to the police. I think even the police has to be trained on children's rights. You know, a lot of things have to be done.
All right, welcome back. You're still joined by your girl, Silanji Sinkonde. As I told you earlier on, I said it earlier on, I've been joined by someone amazing, an amazing person. I've been joined by Victoria. Yes, Victoria, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. And how are you?
I'm okay. Today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting. So what do you have to say before I start asking you questions?
It's an amazing day. It's actually something exciting, and actually something that you could actually understand, to say children can also be in the media. So I'm excited and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, we have heard Victoria is excited to be here, just as I am. So Victoria, I have a few questions. I believe the people out there and the children out there will learn something and will actually be inspired as well. So as a person with a disability of albinism, what are some of the challenges you have faced?
Okay, so when you're looking at the challenges broadly, I won't talk about myself because there are many people with albinism out there. So basically, I believe, and I've seen, and I've actually endured discrimination, cyberbullying, and stigmatization. We are not able to express ourselves properly on social media platforms or through TV, radio. We're not able to express ourselves because of the fact that we are stereotyped, we are judged, we are discriminated, we are bullied of social media.
Okay. You have learned something. I'll keep on asking you if you've learned something, because I want you to learn something. And please, don't forget to leave us a comment. We'll definitely appreciate. Victoria, won't you be happy to see a comment?
I will be very happy. I will be very, very, very happy.
Very happy.
Yes.
So my other question is, as a person with albinism, as a disability, what's something you would want to see to be put in place for people with disabilities? As we all know, people face different challenges to per se, and I might not know fully all the challenges, but I believe you have come across several challenges, and you would be able to tell us some.
Okay, so judging from the challenges that I have portrayed, to say that there's discrimination, there's lack of proper presentation, especially when it comes to persons with albinism. We're not presented properly of social media. We also have negative vibes, negative energy around persons with albinism. So when you look at that, I believe that if the media is a big platform to reach a lot of people, why not tell people, why not educate them? So if it's coming from the media has to bring positivity around persons with albinism, bring positivity around persons with disabilities. And when you have that positivity, you can actually feel people coming out and their self-esteem being built and their self-esteem being brought out and being able to like express themselves through the social media platforms. So for social media platforms and radio, television, it should be more inclusive and help people to express themselves the way they are, especially persons with albinism and persons with disabilities.
Okay, and I forgot to tell you, Victoria is actually a student at UNZA and she is doing journalism.
Yes, I'm doing media and journalism studies.
Okay,
yes.
So if I was to ask, as you stated earlier on, the media is one of the places where you feel like they'll feel like, okay, you're bringing negative vibes and all that. Yes. But what inspired you to study journalism? Despite all that, you still went for it. So what inspired you?
So I want to be the voice to the voiceless. So media and journalism studies provides that platform for me to speak out and speak for the people that cannot speak. So basically, I sat down with myself one day and I'm like, oh, I'm an advocate. So what do I need to do? I need to speak to people. So if I can speak to people, what best program can I do? And I looked at media and journalism and I'm like, wow, what a best course to like express yourself in that way. So I was like, okay, I'm doing media.
You're going to go for
I'm going to go for it. And judging by how it's going so far, I'm able to talk to other people, able to express, and being someone who's unique, people are surprised and like, oh, there's also a person with albinism who can actually speak to people like this. So it also brings encouragement to other persons with albinism to boost their self-esteem, to say I can put myself out there. So I want to be that example, to put myself out there, and they should be happy and say, okay, if she can do it, I can also do it. Yes.
And I believe that really helps people out there who have low self-esteem. Because you find someone with low self-esteem and they actually see someone being bullied and they're like, oh, I feel I can't also do this. And them seeing that, okay, you are able to do this and you're actually encouraging them. I believe they'll be able to speak out one day. They'll be like, oh, if Victoria could do it, I can also do it. What will stop me and all that? So I believe indeed you are being an encouragement to people out there, an inspiration. And there's some people I know that will say, oh, Victoria is my inspiration. Yes. And so lastly, what's your message to the kids out there, as knowing that today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting?
So my message to the children and message to also the parents is to make sure that they encourage their children, and they should embrace their uniqueness. They should understand the way they are and they cannot change it, and they should forge ahead and do whatever they have to do for them to succeed. They shouldn't put themselves in a shell. They shouldn't hide, boost their self-esteem, do whatever it takes for them to actually have a voice in public. So for the children, I also encourage children, especially children with albinism, I encourage them to actually be around people, don't segregate themselves, express themselves, play, embrace your uniqueness in short, and understand that you also have rights and privileges to certain things, and they shouldn't have setbacks. So that's my message to the children, and I believe the children should be smiling, they should be happy, they should be excited for this day.
I'm smiling here myself. I'm smiling because I've learned something. I've been inspired, Victoria.
Thank you.
Yes. It was really amazing having you here. I believe the kids have learned something, as well as me. I've learned something. I've learned that learn to be unique in your own way. And don't segregate yourself. No, because you don't have this and your friends have this. No, my friend is light, or no, my friend is dark. No, my friend has this, I don't have this. And you tend to segregate yourself. Don't segregate yourself. Just as Victoria has mentioned, learn to actually play around and cooperate with them. And you won't actually feel left out, I believe. Accept yourself. And you know something I came to realize in life? We must learn to accept ourselves the way we are. Self-acceptance is very important. Yes. So thank you so very much, Victoria, for joining me here. I really had an amazing time with you and I have learned a lot.
Thank you.
All right. So I believe you have learned something from Victoria. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be back. Welcome back. You're still joined by your girl Suilanji Sinkonde, your vibe giver here. I've been joined by an amazing person. This is a person with visual impairment, and she's a student as well. She's a student at the University of Zambia. We'll get to hear some of her own personal challenges. Tisa, how are you?
I'm alright, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. So today is International Children's Day of Broadcasting. Are you excited to be here?
Very, very, very excited. More than excited.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So Tisa, if I was to ask some questions, the first question is, bearing in mind that you're a person with visual impairment, what is some of the challenges that you have faced?
All right, thank you. So challenges that we face as persons with visual impairment are very broad.
Okay.
So it ranges from discrimination, stigma, and I don't know if you know there's a difference between stigma and discrimination. So stigma, discrimination, and the physical and environmental barriers. You find, I'm a person with visual impairment, and the buildings, the infrastructure everywhere is not inclusive or accessible. Those are challenges that we have. And then in school, people do not know about us. So it's very challenging. That's where the stigma and discrimination comes in. They fear to interact with us. Others think disabilities are contagious, of which that's not the case. We also face challenges like us being referred to as using derogatory names, for example, disabled, differently abled, special needs, which is not supposed to be the case, because those names are the beginning of what is discrimination. Because if you say disabled, then I'll think I'm not able to do anything, when I can only do all things except that which interacts with my vision. So those are some of the challenges that I face as a person with visual impairment.
Okay. So as a person with visual impairment, how has been your journey life?
Okay, so to start with, I wasn't born with a disability.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just acquired it in 2018. And it hasn't been easy, but I've thrived through the challenges, and I'm making it. It hasn't been easy because I was the first person to have a disability in my family.
Okay.
Yes, so there was not knowing how to go about everything, starting from myself and my family, my community, and navigating school. Before I lost sight, I was at Evelyn Horn College.
Okay.
And then I lost sight. I never knew how to go about the whole school thing, how I was going to be studying, how I was going to be writing exams. It wasn't easy, but I've managed. Now I'm able to do school, even in my state. I'm able to survive as a person with visual impairment. So I believe I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Indeed, that's very true. And if I was to ask this question, you're a student at UNZA, right?
Yes.
And what course are you studying?
Social work.
So what made you study social work?
This is a funny fact.
Okay.
I've just discovered that social work is not just a program I'm pursuing, but it's a calling. Okay. Initially, I never even knew about social work. The only reason, the major reason in the first place was because most people think persons with visual impairment only pursue teaching programs in the school of education. But I never wanted that. So I wanted to find a program that is away from education. And fortunately, somehow I found myself in social work. A social worker can be an advocate, of which I am. Okay. So it's a program, but it's a life I lead every day. So I enjoy social work because I get to interact with people, finding solutions to social needs that people go through, especially persons with disabilities, looking at the fact that it's a marginalized group of people that are not considered in society, that are neglected, that are discriminated. And social work gives me a platform to speak for them, find interventions to help persons with disabilities and everything like that.
Okay, so as we all know, today we're celebrating International Children's Day of Broadcasting. So what's your message to the people out there here in Zambia and of course international?
Okay, thank you very much. So my message to the people out there, as a disability advocate, I'll focus more on disability. Persons with disabilities are human beings like any other. We are just part of human diversity, and hence we should be treated like human beings. We know our rights, so be careful on how you handle us out there. We know laws and policies that govern us, so don't stigmatize, don't discriminate. Embrace us, we are people like you. Disability is not contagious. Yeah, thank you very much.
So lastly, what is your call? Like to the Ministry of Development, what's your call to them? What message do you have for them?
Okay, so so in terms of laws and policies, they're there, but we have international and local ones, but we don't have the regional laws that govern, that protect people with disabilities. So there's a legal framework that is supposed to be ratified, Africa Disability Protocol, which will bridge the gap between the international laws and the local laws, because it speaks to the practices that we only have in Africa. So my call to Ministry of Community Development and Social Services is to please enhance and fasten the process of ratifying the Africa Disability Protocol so that we can avoid these things of ritual killings, concealment of children with disabilities, and abandonment of children with disabilities.
Okay. So I have personally learned a lot, and I believe you have learned a lot. Indeed, she has taught us on the disabilities, and she has also taught us on the challenges she faced and the challenges she believes people are facing out there. And guys, I don't even know how to say this, but I had an amazing time here. Did you have an amazing time here?
I'm very, very, very glad to be here. I had an amazing time. Yeah.
Okay, so I had an amazing time talking to you, interacting with you. I'm really humbled, and thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were joined by your amazing presenter, Suilanji Sinkonde. I believe we have learned a lot, as today's theme was safeguarding children in the media space and beyond, where we had poems from the students, where we got to hear from the deputy head, the school manager. We also learned something from .com Zambia. We also learned something from Andrew Mansa. He's a journalist, where he got to tell us a lot of things, him growing up in the media space and how he feels children must be safeguarded. We were also joined by Victoria, where she also told us some of the challenges she has faced. We were also joined by Tisa, where she also told us the challenges she has faced, and she believes she is going to be the voice to the people out there with disabilities. So thank you so very much for joining us. On behalf of the Movie TV production crew, it's bye!